Hello students, welcome to biology class. Today we will discuss the topic that is respiratory surfaces. So in the previous video I have told you that how the exchange of gases it takes place in plants. Now we will talk about respiratory surfaces. Now beta, you have heard that the organisms they take in the fresh air and they exhale out the foul air, that is impure air from the body. So this process of taking in fresh air and then exhaling out the foul air or the bad air from the body is known as breathing. Okay. Now beta, you can see here most animals have respiratory surface for exchange of gases. Yes. So most of the animals they are having respiratory surfaces for exchange of gases. Okay, and the organ having respiratory surface is known as respiratory organ. So the particular organ in which the respiratory surfaces are present, these are known as respiratory organ. So most of the animals they are having respiratory surfaces. Okay, in case of lower animals the respiratory surfaces are not present. Okay, and what you have to remember beta, these respiratory organs, these are the specialized organs, okay, in which the exchange of gases takes place. For example, gills in fish and lungs in human. Okay, our lungs are designed in such a way that they helps in the exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide. Okay, when we inhale the air, okay, our lung it receives oxygen and the blood which comes into our lungs for purification, it contains carbon dioxide. And you know beta, in the alveoli these are the sac like structure where the exchange of the gases takes place. Okay, the oxygen it get mixed into the bloodstream and the blood becomes pure, that is oxygenated blood, and the carbon dioxide it escapes out of the blood and it comes into the alveoli and then through the nostrils it come out of the body. Now you can see here beta, I have written here gills in fish and lungs in human. These are the example of respiratory surfaces. So what are respiratory surfaces? Respiratory surfaces are those surfaces which helps in exchange of gases in animals. Yes, now beta, you can see what are the characteristic features of respiratory surface. So you can see here beta, the respiratory surface it should have large surface area. Okay, it should have large surface area. Why it should have large surface area? So that more air it can be accommodated. Okay, then we have beta thin permeable membrane. So the membrane of the respiratory surfaces it should be thin. Why it should be thin? For the quick diffusion of the gases. Yes, next beta, the respiratory surfaces it should have abundant blood supply. So the respiratory surfaces it should have more supply of capillaries so that there should be quick diffusion of the gases. So if there will be abundant blood supply to the respiratory surfaces, the gases will be diffused quickly. Okay, then beta, the respiratory surface it should be moist. Why it should be moist? For the diffusion of gases. Okay, then last is movement of air. So the movement of the air it should be quick across the respiratory surfaces. The movement of the air it should be quick so that the fresh air it can be taken in quickly and the foul air or the bad air it can be exhaled out quickly. So you can see here beta, these are the characteristics of respiratory surface. A respiratory surface it should have large surface area, then it should be having thin permeable membrane. The membrane it should be thin, patli honi chahiye, and it should allow the diffusion of gases. Permeable means permit, okay, to allow to pass through, okay, then abundant blood supply. So respiratory surfaces should be richly supplied with blood capillaries for the diffusion of gases. Then the respiratory surfaces, it should be moist, and the last one is the movement of air in the respiratory surfaces, it should be quick, it should be faster.